Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, I'm Michael. And I like to do motorcycle related content, be it with my camper trailer or my Harley Davidson. So if you're a regular viewer here, as you know, I've got a camping trip planned and I'm getting towards the pointy end of the stick now. I've got a week to go, so basically tomorrow week I'm heading off for about 2,600 kilometre ride with a friend of mine, Rod. This is his bike up here. He's got an Ultra Classic, which I've got on the hoist at the moment because I'm just doing a service on it and doing a maintenance check, a bit like I did last week for mine. So I thought I'd start packing the trailer, and I'd rather do it now and then think, oh shit, what have I forgotten, than later. So let's do it. Again, if you watch this regularly, you know last week I put this little support scenario on there. Oops, wrong way around. Support scenario around there so we can use it as a table. So I'm just trying to work out what I do and don't need for this trip. There are the awnings, those I need. So in my tent, as you're aware, I've got my sleeping bag, a queen-size sleeping bag in there already, or a double sleeping bag I should say, in there already. I've got my couple of big pillows here. But it's more like food, camping equipment, clothes, all the other garb. What am I going to need? What am I going to take? Sort of scenario for this video. So, let's pull these three out. That's my support legs for my trailer that we made a while back. A lot of this stuff you're going to think, oh my god, you know, why is he taking so much shit? But I'm kind of taking stuff for myself and Rod. He is towing a trailer, but his isn't a camper trailer. His is a hauling trailer, so it's a lot smaller. He still can carry quite a bit in it, but I'm basically set up. So, you know, I've got some food and things I'll throw in here, and that's just additional stuff. But it's just a matter of going through what I do and don't have. So this is my pantry box as well. So sometimes we're going to be able to be plugged in, so I've got a heavy duty caravan extension lead and my little portable shower. All I do is throw some warm water into one of these, throw that in there. It charges off a USB plug. You get about 40 minutes of a shower out of it. It's actually not bad. It's pretty good. But in regards to the food, I've got some basic things. We're traveling, so not all the time will we be eating out and bits and pieces. Sometimes we will. Breakfast and shit we're not likely to do. So I've just got some, you know, the little mini packets of cereal. So I've got a few of those to go in there. Because sometimes it's nice. You don't always feel like it. You just feel like some cereal or something along those lines. Something quick you can get before you hit the road just to start your day off. And I've got the same in some porridge, sachet porridge. You virtually pour boiling water into it and away you go. So they're always easy and light to carry. You know, if I want to go a little bit more, I've got just a shaker pancake mix. You know, you add water, shake the shit out of it. So that's always handy if you want something. I've got the important loo roll, but I'm going to put that at the front of the trailer so it's easily accessible. Sometimes out on the road you can't always get to a loo, and you don't want to be caught out in the middle of nowhere. Just some up and goes, just as a little bit of a flavour boost if I want. None of this is expensive, but none of it's heavy. You know, just a couple of what do you call it, noodles in a cup, so you don't have to break anything else out for that. So a couple of those. You're not Australian unless you've got Vegemite, and I've got a squeezy one so you can rattle around in there all at like. But you've got to take Vegemite, even if that's the only thing you're taking. I've just got some lollies as a treat for myself. I don't know if Rod actually even eats lollies and things. I've got some cuppa soups. Most of this stuff I could just throw boiling water in. I've got a thermos that I'm just testing now to see if it leaks. So when I do set up, boil a bit extra water, throw it in there, have the thermos going, and that way I've got, if I want to pull over for a cuppa, or I want to pull over for, you know, a cup of soup or instant noodles or whatever, I've got it there. Just a couple of little mini cans of the baked beans and bits and pieces. Again, none of this is all up. That probably weighs 3 or 4 kilo. I've got a packet of just instant pasta goop. You know, you throw it in water and you cook it for 10 minutes on the stove, I think it is. Truth be known, I don't actually make it, but I know it's light. Yeah, 10 minutes on the stove. So that's fairly easy to do. So just something light. Again, if we're nowhere near a town, or we pull over, or we break down or something, because you can't really take bread with you. I've got some rice cakes, nice and light, nothing to go. But I also have some roti bread. This is good in you know, ambient temperatures, and it's good before 29th of July, so that should be good for at least a week for us. So I've got some garlic bread there if we want. Again, you know, you want to throw a bit of Vegemite on it or have it with your soup or whatever. When we're out and about, depends on where we are, I can do like meat shop for the day, and I might do some cooking and bits and pieces and see how we go. And the all important salt and pepper. I might get a couple of cloves of garlic and bits and pieces as it gets later in the week, but we'll see how we go. And apart from that, for my food, oh, and I've also got yes, I can hear you saying it already. It's not recyclable, and it's not this, and it's not that, and why don't you do this? I've bought, it's 2,500 ml bottles of water. So I've got 10 litres of water. Again, if we were out riding, want a drink, I've got it. Want to make a cuppa, I've got it. I was going to get a water one, and with a tap, but I've experienced, once you open, they're good while they're sealed, but once you open them and they bounce around and stuff, they tend to leak. And I just don't want everything in here leaking. The chances of me rupturing 20 bottles of this are pretty slim. I keep the bottles anyway. I usually top them back up with water when I get to someone's house or whatever. So I'm not really wasting it, I'm not throwing it away, I'm not doing all this shit, but I've got it there anyway. So I can hear you saying already about coffee. Well, I've got little coffee sachets, you know, the type you get in those horrible motels, sadly enough. So I've got some just plain coffee sachets. And from Aldi, these are great. I've actually become quite fond of these. They're not real good coffee, but you get, you know, a cup of coffee in the morning, you don't have to worry about milk. It'll get you going until you get to somewhere to have a decent cup of coffee. You know, you tip it in, a bit of water, 150 mils of water, stir it, you're done. $3.99. So for 10, you know, that's 39 cents a cup. That's not bad. So I've got 3 different flavours of those as well. I've got a mocha, a vanilla latte and a cappuccino. I don't find them quite strong enough, thus the other instant coffee. So that's basically my food pack. So I don't know where I am now. I might be repeating myself. My camera stopped working and I flapped on for ages. So I'll just go through again. So in my kitchen box, I've got a little cutting board, a little toaster thing that goes on the oven grill. These I'm taking these are little butane gas bottles, and I've got a little 360 burner. In case you know, I travelled around Tasmania, this thing was great. I've got an adapter there to make it a right angle adapter. Gas bottle goes out the side, that goes on top. Great for doing, you know, 1 cup. I've got metal cups as well, so 1 cup or whatever, but they're great. And I've got a small gas bottle, but in case I decide to go, you know, out for the day for a day ride or whatever, I can throw that in there, throw a cup and still have hot water. So that thing's great. And the little adapter that goes with it, I think they cost 25, well, there you go, $25 that one cost. But it makes it more stable and it's fantastic. In here I've got some just little basic cooking stuff. I've got a wooden spoon, a barbecue scraper, a cleaver type thing, a metal spoon, and just a cheap knife with a scabbard. But that's plenty enough for my cooking equipment. As I said, we may eat out a bit, we may not. We could be at friends' places or what, but this is just in case. I've got this little gourmet sizzle pan. You find these all the time in salvos and stuff like that, centre minis and whatever. And what it is just a cast iron plate, which is just big enough to, you know, you cook your eggs or your bacon or your pancakes or whatever. Throw it on the wood, you can eat straight off that or whatever. I was going to take my cast iron pan, but because I'm taking my camp oven, I'm not going to worry about it. That weighs, you know, half a kilo sort of thing, or kilo even. It's not that heavy. So I'm going to take that. This thing is my camp oven. This is fantastic. This is a Bendari spun steel. A lot of kitchens, and I grew up using them, have spun steel pans. They turn black. They might be referred to as black steel. But you can use that as a fry pan. You know, do your thing in that. A lot of people have cast iron ones, which are great. I've known people that have had this type for like 10 years. They're black, but they keep going. Where the cast iron ones, you drop them, or, you know, they fall over, they rattle around, they crack. And so they end up being no good. So I've got that in there as well. So that's why I'm taking that just a little sizzle pan. So that's basically my cooking equipment. Cutting board. I didn't say I had a cutting board with me. So all that fits in there, nice and snug. I could actually put stuff inside that oven if I really needed to. And all that stuff probably weighs maybe 6 or 7 kilos. It's not that heavy. And that one goes over the axle. Oops. That one goes over the axle. And then I've got my pots and pans and bits and pieces. A sponge and mascara. I went looking earlier for I've got little bottles I bought from Kmart. They're I think 150 ml with detergent in it, and I've filled it up and I've put it somewhere and I've got no idea where I've done it. So I'll have to do a bit more investigating in that. A couple of metal cups, and I've got a couple of plastic ones as well. These are great for that little burner thing. You can put that straight on it and heat it up. Or if you've got time, having a cup of coffee out of that. They're great to drink out of, but it takes forever for the cup to cool down. So that's what these are, just in case. Couple of bowls, couple of plates, wine opener, bottle opener. When I cook, I like to eat with chopsticks, so I've got some chopsticks, a pair of tongs, I carry a cigarette lighter. Everything's got a piezo switch in it, but this is just in case. And if it goes flat, it doesn't really matter. These things are great. These are just a camping set of cutlery. It's a knife, fork and spoon. They're interlocked together. They're stainless steel. They're not heavy duty. Oh, slide it the other way, Michael. So knife, fork and spoon. They're fairly flexible, but you know, it's camping for God's sakes. It's not fine dining. But they're good. And it's got a little bottle opener on it as well. So clip them together, give them a rinse, clip them together, throw them back in the little carry case, and they're all honky-dory. That's great, those ones. They're about, I think, $7 each. They're not really expensive. When I'm traveling by myself, this thing is made can hook under your belt. It's made by the same company that makes a Swiss Army knife. And it's a little spoon. It slides separate. There's a fork. These are actually a lot better quality than those other ones. And a knife. So, as I said, these are great if you're just traveling by yourself. But I've only got one of these. I've had this forever. I don't even know where I got it from now. And that's just clips back together into its little protective cover. And it has a belt loop on it, so if you're walking or traveling. Oh, and I've got a little peeler in there. And if worst comes to worst, I've got some electrolytes. Sometimes you just feel a little bit flat, but I'll keep that in there as well. So that is my kitchen box, but I'll have to investigate where that other detergent went. I'm not sure if Rod carries any of this stuff in his trailer. I'm sure he does, but I'm not quite sure. With my little indulgences, as I said, I've got my fins, bits and pieces, and what have you. A couple of wet sacks, the tools. Also, when I mention the tools, it'll probably be later because now it's all out of sequence. I've also got a little air compressor. Because I'm mentioning this now, but I'm actually saying it after I talked about my tools that I take with me. So it's just a little air compressor. It's fairly lightweight. It's got its own little valve scenario on it. And I've got a flexible lead because Harley Davidsons are just a pain in the ass to get into. Because of the rotors and the discs and everything else that goes with it. That just clips to the SAE plug. And away it goes. Pumps up a tyre in about 2.5 minutes. So it's fairly efficient. It's not very attractive, but it does what it needs to do. So when I talk about the tools later, that also goes with it. Normally this stuff I carry on the bike all the time, but because I'm taking the trailer, I'll sling it in the trailer, and that'll be good for that. so that I'll even lighten up the bike, even though the trailer will be heavier, lighten up the bike a little more. So that should put me back into sequence, and I'll continue. So that might need a little bit more investigating. I don't know where my little detergent bottle is. It can't be too far away, but I'll have a look. Also in the kitchen thing, I forgot to mention, I've got sugar sachets as well. Not that it's a necessary thing. I've got little tiny garbage bags. You can't go through and disturb. You can't go through and litter. So I've got some little garbage bags to make it nice and easy. And there's nothing worse than bloody mosquitoes. The weather's getting cooler now, but on the off chance, I've got some mosquito coils. You know, they weigh nothing. They burn up to 8 hours. If they work, they work. They don't, they don't. And that's also in that kit too, just so I don't forget. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what I did with those detergent bottles. So in my kitchen box, as I said, I need a cutting board, so I've got just a little polycarbonate cutting board, so that can just go down the side, all out of the way. I might need to just trim that off. Doesn't fit in there properly. I'll lay it across the top at this stage, it doesn't matter. And my little kitchen cooking set, as I said. So that's basically that sort of stuff. I'll put those poles back in there. So if I need to get that back one out, I can. I might have to find myself a power board and throw in here as well. I've got plenty of them laying around, but I'll throw that in there as well. So apart from that sort of stuff, so as you can see, I've still got tons of room in there. So that's great. So in addition to that, clothes I'm taking 2 pair of jeans, a few t-shirts, one of the pair of jeans I'll be wearing, my Johnny Reb motorbike boots that go just below my knee. They're like the long stovepipe type ones. Another pair of boots, a couple of t-shirts, as I said. I'm going to take my leather jacket, my motorbike riding jacket, and I'm going to take my off-road waterproof jacket. Adelaide's renowned for raining in winter, so just in case. So I'll have another motorbike jacket. So 2 motorbike jackets, 2 pair of shoes, 2 pair of jeans, half a dozen t-shirts, and all that extra stuff can go in here. On the bike itself, when Casey and I travelled, and not saying it's all women, but some girls like to overpack. So we had, before I actually got the proper bags, we had a green, like a Woolworths shopping bag. And all our clothes had to fit into one of those. Now I've got proper bags. Now I've got proper, these are Harley Davidson bags that fit into the pannier. They're designed to fit into the pannier. So I can actually take plenty of clothes if I need to. Not that I'm going to need a whole lot. In addition to that, I'm going to take, I've got a first aid kit. Rod said to me the other day, oh, that's ominous. You know, taking first aid kit, you're expecting something to happen. You get dirt in your eyes. This has got, it's 210 pieces. It comes from Aussie Disposals, 210 pieces. And it's fantastic. It's got band-aids and washers and tongs, bandages, tweezers, antiseptic wipes, alcohol wipes. There's 210 pieces, plus I've thrown a couple of other things in it myself, just like a big bandage and stuff. There's triangular bandages in there, and it's great. And I'm actually thinking $20, mind you. I'm actually thinking of getting one for the car. I may never use it, but you might come across another accident where you can render assistance. So that's more for that. It's not me being ominous and expecting something to happen. It's me being prepared. So I'll put that in the front of the trailer as well. I'm going to take my GoPro. This is just the case of GoPros and stuff going. Extra batteries, the charger, all that sort of nonsense can go in that. I'm going to take my motorbike cover. I've got an old sleeping bag stuff case here, so I'll just stuff that into that. The cover comes down to about that size, so there's no weight in it. I've had to get permit to go into South Australia, so I applied for those last night. You don't need them, but I think it's more so they can track you where you're going if there's an issue. I've got a couple of wet sacks I'm going to take with me. Again, these are nothing. If I've got wet clothes or anything like that, you know, you don't need to justify why that you've got them, but that's what that's about. They just roll down and stuff down to nothing. So I'm taking those, and I'll probably take a mask or a neck gaiter just for you know, if I need a mask. Oh, this is a stupid luxury I'm taking only because I've got room. I scuba dive, but this is, because I won't be taking scuba diving equipment, this is a snorkel and fins. The significant part of this, we're going to some beautiful beaches along the coast. Snorkel, fins and a mask is this, if I can get it out. Oh, the snorkel's attached to it, so I can't get it out. Has got a GoPro attachment on it, so I can put my GoPro, waterproof GoPro case on there and see if I can get some underwater footage. It's not really weighing anything, probably 2 kilo, 3 kilo. As I said, because I'm solo riding and I'm towing a trailer, I can be a little bit more exorbitant with what I take. I've taken out my camp kitchen, I've taken out my camp stove, I've minimised weight. So, you know, I'm having indulgences. I'm having micro indulgences because I can. Again, and that's another wet stuff sack. And that's from Ninja Shark. And Finn's snorkel and Finn's the snorkel and the mask, I think it was $100, something like that. I can't even actually remember. But they are great. That's a great brand. Great brand, really comfortable. The only disappointment for me personally is I wish the fins were longer. Scuba diving fins are generally longer, but because I'm snorkeling, they'll suffice to what I want. That can go in there as well because it'll take up next to no room. But apart from that, I think that's pretty much all I'm taking. In addition to that, this is what I'm taking. I've got some blue gloves if I have to work on the bike. I've got a monopod, tripod thing for my GoPro or a selfie stick, whatever you like to call them. I'm taking one of those. I've got some Slime emergency flat tyre repair. The trailer has a spare tyre, the Harley doesn't. This stuff, you pour it in, rotate your wheel a couple of times, pump it up. It's really good gear. So I'm taking that and my toolkit, which I always carry in the Harley, but on this particular instance, I'm going to keep it in the front of the trailer. But that's pretty much all I'm taking. It seems a lot. I'm going away for 10 days. I'm doing 3,000 Ks. It's kind of, yes, it is kind of extravagant and a lot I'm taking, but I've minimised weight. The trailer weighs 120 kilo, and with all my stuff in it, I'm up to, I think I weighed it, excluding my extra fuel. Because on the trailer, as you know, it has 2 fuel tanks, so I'm taking an extra 10 litres of fuel. All this stuff weighs 145 kilo. So it's not really stupidly extravagant, but I've got so much more space I can take stuff, and I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm touring. I'm not traveling somewhere, stopping and staying. Where first day we're riding to Ararat, which is about 530k from here. We've got 10 days to do 3,000 kilometers or 2,500 kilometers. So, you know, we're in no hurry to go anywhere. I'm going to go through, we're going to be in Port Macdonald. We're leaving on Sunday morning. We'll be in Port Macdonald on Monday, maybe stay overnight in Port Macdonald, go up through Robe, Kingston, as I said, up to Wellington, across the ferry in Wellington. I've made contact with one of my sisters in Goolwa. I've got a brother that lives in Goolwa. I might see if I can get hold of him to see if he's around, catch up with him. I'm not sure if Rod wants to tag along or he wants to do his own thing. He wants to go through Penola on the way over to another one of the wine districts. What didn't start out as a winery tour seems to be coming through that way. So we're doing the Coonawarra, we're doing Penola, as I said, which is called some weird name up that way. We're doing Southern Vale through Goolwa, and the Southern Vales and Adelaide McLaren Vale. We're heading to Adelaide Hills, which now produces wine. We're going up through the Barossa Valley that produces wine. We're going to Waikerie that produces wine. You're seeing a pattern forming here. Mildura. Then we're going to come down through Waganya, Cobram on the other side of the river, and follow the river down back through that way in Mitamita. I think Mitamita is about the only place that doesn't actually produce wine. So it could be very good or it could be very messy. I'm not quite sure. But we're doing it over 10 or 12 days. There's no real set period, but it should be good. Anyway, I appreciate you sitting here watching and listening to me blab and carry on. If you like this sort of content, don't forget to give us a like and a thumbs up. While I'm touring, I'm taking a laptop with me. I'm not sure if I'll be able to produce anything while I'm away, but I'll be able to store it. I'm taking a few spare STD cards and the computer to download the GoPro onto. So if I can edit it and upload it, I will. If I can't, it'll just have to wait. But less than a week to go. Thursday I go on holiday, so I might do another quick video next week, packing it all up and loading. I've got to finish servicing Rod's bike. I gave it a very quick wash today. It was disgusting. He lives on a dirt road, and I didn't realise how bad it was, but it is a really, really dusty dirt road, and so it's kind of, yeah. Anyway, his bike's living here at the moment. So give us a like and a thumbs up. Appreciate you watching, and until next time, bye for now.